Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to break down the best way to go about doing positioning for beginner product marketers. In my last video, I talked about the different types of positioning that you can explore as a product marketer. And so I want to break that down even further by giving you a simple formula that I use to make positioning easy for me. This formula is called the who, what, why, when, how framework. The who, what, why, when framework is pretty much asking a series of questions. What does the product do? Who does it do it for? How does it work? Why should customers care? How is the product different? And when would they use it? The point of this framework is to break down positioning into simple questions that make it easy for you to define what is really stand out about your product. Because sometimes it's difficult to figure out, should I be doing competitive positioning? Should I be doing niche-based positioning? What kind of positioning should I be doing? And so when you're using this framework, you're forced to answer these questions that help you define what kind of positioning is best for you. Now let's break down this positioning using Canva as an example, since I think we're pretty much familiar with Canva. For Canva, the first thing that we have is the what. What does it do? Now Canva is a design software. After defining the what, the next step is to define the who. Who is Canva for? So in this instance, Canva is a design software for social media managers without design experience. After your who, the next one is the how. So how does it work? And it works by allowing you create beautiful images for social media posts. The next question here is why? Why should customers care about using this design software? Why should social medias want to create beautiful images with Canva? And the answer for this would be that it helps your post generate more engagement and look more professional. And then the next question would be, okay, how is this different from, say, Photoshop or every other design software out there? And the answer for this one is Canva is different because it does not require any kind of knowledge or experience in design to be able to use it. And the last question is going to be when. So when would social media managers use Canva? And the answer for this is when they're trying to design beautiful social media graphics or blog covers or newsletter covers or whatever simplistic design that they want to create. So to sum this up, you end up having Canva is a design software for beginner social media managers without design experience that allows them design beautiful images that generates more engagement and looks professional without requiring any prior experience or knowledge in design. As a social media manager, you can use this to create beautiful social media graphics, great blog posts, etc. Now, when you're done answering all of these questions, it makes it easy for you to see where you stand. On one hand, you're using a niche-based positioning because we already said Canva is for social media designers that have no experience in design. So you're already saying not only is this for social media managers, but it is for a specific set of social media managers that have no experience in design. And the reason that you're doing this is just to make the product stand out a lot more from, say, Photoshop, because there is a possibility that another social media manager has experience using Photoshop because they have design experience. So niching down in this way helps to say, if you don't have any design experience and you need to design social media graphics, we're your guy. Another type of positioning we are seeing here is a use case positioning, because we said Canva is used to design social media graphics and blog posts, etc., which instantly tells the potential user how they would use Canva, like in what specific instance they would use this product. So we see that just by doing the who, what, why thing, we're able to identify that, okay, with this particular framework, we're positioning Canva using a niche-based positioning and then using a use case positioning. Again, referencing back to the last video, I mentioned that you don't have to stick to one positioning all the time, that it's always good to use a mix of positioning if it makes sense for your product. If it makes sense to use only a niche-based positioning, then that's fine. But if you need to switch things and add 2 or more types of positioning in one, that also works, because positioning does not need to be one static thing that you just do in a rigid way. It is very flexible. It just needs to make sense for your product. Now, I want to address that even though this who, what, why framework works this way, you need to also begin to tear it apart and start understanding whether or not your product would win in the way that you've told the story. Right? So if you've done your who, what, why framework like we've done it for Canva, you want to now understand, what if there's another competitor in the market that does exactly what Canva does? So if there's another guy that also positions itself as a design software for social media managers with no design experience, then it means you need to get more creative. Maybe another exciting thing about your product is that it's faster to load, it's just easier to use, it's better in terms of functionality compared to the other competitors in the market. Then maybe you want to add in a competitive positioning here and say something like Canva is a design software that's simpler than Photoshop for beginners. We're no longer using niche-based positioning because your niche already has players and competitors and other key guys there. So in this instance, you may just want to highlight the fact that despite the fact that there are other guys in this niche, despite the fact that you're not the first person to be doing this, you are significantly better than your competitor, than the other guys in the market. So this is where you begin to like introduce sort of nuances that are specific to your kind of product. So if your product is not going to win this way, maybe your product is not actually better than the competitor, then you want to avoid using like a competitive positioning at all, because that's obviously not going to work well for you when customers start using the product and realize that, oh, you're not actually better as you claimed. So you don't want to do that, but you can only do this when it makes sense, when the other guys in the market and your product is significantly better, and you want to make sure that customers understand that you are significantly better than other guys in the market. So I hope that this helps you when next you're doing a positioning exercise. It's pretty much simple. You just need to stick to answering these questions, and by the time you're done answering them, it makes it easy. Your whole product is laid out in front of you, and it's easy for you to understand where you can win and how best to position your stuff. The minute you're done answering the questions, you can begin to take out elements, add elements. For example, if I take out, Canva is a design software for social media managers, and I replace it with Canva is a design software for everyone to design beautiful graphics, I remove the niche element entirely. And the only reason I would do this is if I'm the leader in the market. Like if I'm the only guy in the market, like I'm the only guy doing design in the market, then I would say, oh, Canva is a design software for every designer, for everyone to create beautiful graphics. But we added the niche element just because there's already Adobe Photoshop, there's already Lightroom, there's like a dozen other design software. And I wanted to make it easy for customers to say, oh, this is for me. I resonate with this person that this product is targeting. I also want to add a disclaimer that this is not exactly Canva's positioning. I just sort of tweaked it a little bit so that it can make sense for this particular example into the framework of who, what, why, when. So yeah, I hope that this has helped you understand an easier way to hack positioning, I would say. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will answer them.